Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and it's time to wrap up another franchise with the actual Final Destination, Part 5, which came out in 2011. Like the previous entry, Final Destination 5 was filmed and released in 3D, but unlike the previous entry, Part 5 is not a heaping pile of shit. To me, Part 5 is a huge step up over the previous two films, mostly because of two things: characters and tone. Although this entry still has a handful of shitbags running around, including the requisite creeper, most everyone feels like a real, believable person, and the one who isn't, the cartoonish pervert, is at least played by a talented character actor and properly portrayed as a sleazebag. Plus, the leads are among the best in the franchise, including Miles Fisher giving perhaps the greatest performance out of all of these movies, which shouldn't be a surprise because Miles Fisher is fucking dope. If you're unfamiliar with this dude, who looks like the love child of Tom Cruise and Christian Bale, you should probably make yourself familiar pronto. Not only did he once sell weed to the junior employees of Sterling Cooper,
I'm Peggy Olson, and I want to smoke some marijuana.
He's also a talented musician, and in fact he made a music video for his song New Romance featuring the cast of this movie in a gory Saved by the Bell parody. It's a hilarious video and kick-ass song, so you should probably check it out. And when you're done there, go watch his other music video that parodies American Psycho for his cover of This Must Be the Place by Talking Heads. That song is actually me and Chelsea's song, and with American Psycho being one of her favorite horror movies, that video was basically tailor-made for us. Okay, I'll stop gushing about Miles Fisher for now. The tone of this movie is also an improvement for the series, since it manages to balance the dark suspense of the original film with some lighthearted humor, while never veering too hard into the cynical snark so prevalent in Part 4. This change in tone and quality may stem from the new talent behind the camera here. Instead of having a repeat writer or director, all new dudes were brought in for Part 5, namely director Stephen Quayle and writer Eric Heiserer, whose very odd screenplay history includes the dreadful Nightmare on Elm Street remake and the 2011 Thing prequel, which, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but also the Oscar-nominated Arrival and then the mediocre Bird Box. It's kind of hard for me to understand how the same guy wrote all of those very different movies, but hey, he did give us Arrival and Final 5, so keep doing your thing, dude. Finally, I've got some good news for the gorehounds among you. Thanks to another sponsorship by NordVPN, you'll be able to watch the explicit version of this video even if you're not a patron. Sometimes the fear of hackers getting into your personal information can be just as scary as the fear of death itself. Thankfully, with NordVPN, you can encrypt your online activity with the single click of a button and protect yourself with military-grade encryption. It's available for Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, pretty much all the operating systems you use every day. So go to nordvpn.com/deadmeat to get 75% off a 3-year plan and use the code DEADMEAT for an extra month for free. Prevent those scary visions of cyber exploitation from becoming reality by going to nordvpn.com/deadmeat, promo code DEADMEAT for 75% off a 3-year plan and an extra month for free. You can click up there or follow the link in the description for the freely available explicit version of this kill count. I only made it a separate video in case it gets age restricted or in case some viewers don't want to see the nasty stuff. Otherwise, let's see how many kills we'll close out this franchise with and get to them. The movie begins with a title card and looks like it's getting tested by Mythbusters. Much like the last movies, these opening credits are real friggin' cool and similarly evoke all the deaths we've seen throughout this series. Honestly, this makes me wish the franchise had kept going, if only for us to get a Bond-esque focus on making cooler and cooler credit sequences each time. It's the morning of a team-building retreat for paper company Presage. Presage? Our heroic herald this time through is Sam Lawton, a lowly salesman who's often joshed by his middle management friend Peter Friedkin.
I'm saying that to you as your friend because, as your boss, I'm ready to fire your ass.
But like I always say, better to get joshed by your buds than dumped by your girlfriend. And unfortunately for Sam, his girlfriend Molly is currently dropping his ass.
It's not working out, Sam.
Then let's go to a gym. Gosh. Olivia Castle is another sales team employee for Presage, and she lives for casual Fridays, hates wearing her glasses, and is always down to give an impromptu biology lesson.
They're called tits.
Her bio student there is intern Candice Hooper, who's on tonguey terms with Peter and is also kind of a mean girl.
Have you slept with every hipster in town yet?
Like I said, some of these characters still kinda suck, but none of them suck as much as this film's piggish perv, tech support employee Isaac Palmer, played by PJ Byrne, who would go on to be in Wolf of Wall Street and Big Little Lies. The captain of this company's paper boat is Dennis Lapman, the sales division manager who treats his staff like pledges.
What's my name?
Dennis.
Look away.
He's played by the champ himself, David Koechner, last seen on the kill/capture count, yes, it's the same thing, in Krampus. Whammy! At his command, Sam runs off to collect the final employee to board the bus, Nathan Sears, played by Arlen Escarpeta, last seen on the kill count, as one of the very few sympathetic characters in the Friday the 13th reboot. Nathan was recently put in charge of some older blue-collar workers in the company's paper factory, which union rep Roy is mighty pissed about.
I got at least 15 years on you here. You got what, 4 years in some classroom upstate?
I love that this paper company has a warehouse employee named Roy. That's gotta be intentional, right? Sam and Nathan board the bus, and this company retreat is off. The employees watch a preview of their coming attractions and see a reminder of previous attractions before arriving at the North Bay Bridge, which in real life was played by the Lionsgate Bridge in Vancouver, the namesake of the film company Lionsgate, which was founded in the city. The first 3 final destinations were all filmed in Vancouver, while the 3D fourth one was filmed mostly in New Orleans. This 5th movie returns production to the V. The bridge is basically having open heart surgery while the bus drives across it, so you'd better start paying attention to all these little specific things, Sam, because you're about to get quizzed on them real soon. In fact, death is already out there, blowing up a gale, and between those gusts of death and all this heavy machinated construction, the bridge begins to crack and crumble. By the time the Pressaga employees flee their bus, the bridge is completely falling apart, surely crushing Menny and Anthony Kiedis underneath. The first death of this premonition is Candice, whose impalement on a sloop results in some 3D gore. Whoa. And yeah, I know that boat's a sloop. I played Sid Meier's Pirates. As the main characters run towards safety, Skeezy Isaac comes out of his bathroom office to find himself in a bus that's become an elevator. Ground floor, going down. Molly manages to get to safety by minding the gap across this steel beam, but since Olivia Velma'd it up earlier, she's gonna have a more difficult time getting across. Yeah, bye! Big splash! Oh wait, she's okay! Oh wait, no she's not. She's about to get hit by this boat of car. Nathan gets got by an errant cable, and Dennis is burned alive by a bunch of hot tar before falling to his death. But Peter manages to Tom Cruise himself to safety across the gap, which is actually pretty funny since Miles Fisher played Tom Cruise in one of those crappy 2000s parody films, Superhero Movie.
Dragonfly can't even fly. I can fly.
This just in, Tom Cruise is dead.
Sam gets across the fissure as well, right before the rest of the bridge crumbles down in an awesomely done long take, until all of the debris is safely in the water below. The bridge disaster is one of the best looking of the series, I think, accomplishing a proper sense of grandeur with some solid CG for the time. They shot it in parts on both the actual bridge and in a studio using practical bridge pieces and green screen backgrounds, all under the supervision of returning stunt coordinator JJ McCarro, who had worked on Final Destination 3. Highlights of this shooting process include Arlen Escarpeta getting yoinked by a cable, which was combined with a shot of a dummy double getting totally wrecked, and David Koechner getting to wear a prosthetic burn head that took a few hours in makeup to apply. When it comes time for the main characters to die, we start off with some rebar rods that impale Peter all over his body. Don't know what his eye is doing there, but apparently they made a practical prosthetic for Miles Fisher to wear, so that's kind of fun. Peter falls and gets a bonus splat point on his way down to the water, which evokes an earlier shot of a plastic barrel that had the same trip down. Then finally, as Molly watches, Sam gets sliced in half by some sheet metal falling. Whoa! Secret eyeball bridge! Cue the symbols that alert Sam to his situation, and thankfully, cue the immediate understanding.
We all gotta get off.
Sam convinces Molly to leave with him, and then, the other characters with names all get off the bus in turn, and so they're able to get to safety as the bridge crumbles apart in front of them, fulfilling Sam's Sam's premonition. We saw a lot of nameless randos die during Sam's vision, but a news report later once again makes my life easy by headlining that there were 86 victims in the North Bay Bridge collapse. Thanks to Sam Lawton, however, 8 of these Presage employees are not among those 86.
How did you know?
Cause this a Final Destination film, motherfucker. Cut to Courtney B. Vance as a velvety-voiced FBI agent named Block.
I'm just trying to get all the pieces of the puzzle together before I start moving them around, making them fit.
Yeah, we're even back to FBI stuff, just like we had in the first one.
I'm Agent Ween, this is Agent Shrek.
Though, sadly, no cartoon ogres are anywhere to be found. Block interviews the survivors and asks them about Sam until his work is cut short by a report that reveals the true reason behind the catastrophe.
We're chalking up the high winds and structural damage from the road construction.
High winds.
Dude, you have no idea. At a memorial service, the survivors ask Sam how he knew the bridge would collapse, but he can't answer them because he doesn't know. You know who might be able to help all y'all sad sacks out though? William the Bloodthirsty Bloodworth. He's worth his weight in blood. Yeah, Tony Todd is finally back, sounding just as goddamn cool as ever.
You all, just be careful now.
I will, Mr. Todd, just for you. Oh, we're done talking now? Okay, that's cool. Thanks. In a peculiar plot addition, Sam also works part-time at a restaurant. And he's so into cooking, actually, that he's been offered an apprenticeship in Paris. He's reluctant to take it, though, because he still wants to be around Molly, which is, in fact, why she broke up with him. So he would take that job and go to Paris. Wow, a scene with character development and actual motivations. Neat. Now let's get one of those famous fun kill scenes. I'm sure most of you already know what's coming and knew as soon as you laid eyes on a bunch of gymnastic equipment. But for those of you who don't, buckle up. We've got a real banger of a kill coming up right here. Candice is beginning her final high school gymnastics practice when death just ups and blows its way into the gym. There's a suspenseful beam scene where Candice plays the knife game, only with her feet instead of her hands and a screw instead of a knife, but it's not until she goes to the bars, which squeak with every flip, that things get real bad for reals. After another gymnast lands on that screw, Death huffs and puffs and blows a bunch of chalk into Candice's face, resulting in this. Shit! It's one of the simplest but most sudden and violent kills in the whole series. Yeah, maybe she looks a little cartoony, flipping around in the air like a Jedi in a prequel movie, but damn if the result's not horrific. And the gruesome aftermath was accomplished by having Candice's actor Ellen Rowe don some green screen pants, while her stunt double wore a green screen top and threw her legs back like that. When the shots were combined, we got this. Great. Peter is left completely bereft by Candice's death, and as Sam comforts him, he sees Bloodworth standing from afar. If I were you, Sam, I'd go talk. Oh shit, he's gone. Missed your chance again, dude. Presage is having a hard time at this point, what with 2/3 of their sales department having been killed, and the remaining survivors have taken to drinking through the workday. Peter's so depressed, though, that not even the sense-dulling powers of alcohol can prevent him from lashing out in anger at the wall, and after apologizing to the others,
I'm sorry.
he leaves to go return some videotapes. Although a lot of Presage's employees are dead, unfortunately, the worst of them is still alive. Isaac descends further into revulsion by stealing from the desks of the dead, and he thinks he's hit a jackpot when he finds a still valid coupon for some fancy spa service. He strolls into the massage parlor, repping that Kill Bill-ish, and hits on the receptionist with all the grace of a jackhammer.
Ooh, slow down there a little bit. Yeah, you have a lovely little canter.
Always gotta have one in these fucking movies, huh? But the receptionist won't be administering his massage. Instead, predictably, it's going to be given by an older woman working there, and we get an obvious and tired comedy routine as she cracks his body to pieces and pretends not to speak English. After they move on to Cenobite therapy, she leaves him to rest for a while.
Sleep.
Oh, he will, lady. He'll sleep long and hard. Some ash causes a fire to break out, and then a loose bolt or whatever knocks Isaac right onto his pins. Ouch! Yeah, dude, you're a goddamn mess. This effect was done using a combination of stick-on needles to put on PJ Burns' real body and a fake torso duplicate with needles he could actually pull out. Great work, effects team. Although the spurting fire doesn't quite manage to reach him, Isaac is finally killed when a Buddha statue falls and crushes his head to smithereens. I bet that dude comes back as a tapeworm or something. Sam and Molly rekindle their relationship and make plans for both of them to go to Paris when Peter shows up and tells them about Isaac's death. They go to the spa where they see Bloodworth hanging out again. And thankfully, the third time's a charm and we actually get a bit of a scene with Tony Todd. Good thing it wasn't Candyman rules, or else it would have taken 5 times for something to happen. Bloodworth is reluctant to help the kids, even though this isn't his first time at the death rodeo.
It's just that I've seen this before. The lucky few survive the disaster, and then one by one, death comes for them all.
You know what? It took 5 movies, but Bloodworth has finally managed to give a succinct and understandable summary of this franchise's premise.
You shorted death.
And with that framing of the issue, he also offers a way out. Take another person's life and make death whole again.
We kill someone, we get their life. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm saying. Bye, y'all. As the kids process having to continue without any more Tony Todd in this movie, Sam remembers that in his premonition, Molly never died. She successfully made it to safety across that bridge gap, so it turns out she doesn't have a death bounty on her head. Great news for Molly, but Peter takes it personally and thinks that Sam was being a little two-faced by only saving her.
Well, apparently you deserve to live more than Candice.
As for Nathan, he doesn't exactly believe in Bloodworth's tales, but he still goes with Sam and Molly to find and warn Olivia. Olivia is at an appointment where she's finally getting the LASIK she's always wanted. That's not to say she's not nervous about the procedure though, which is entirely understandable, since yeah, it's shooting lasers into your eyeballs. But in real life, don't be scared, man, cause science. I can't wait to get it done one day. As long as it's not in a Final Destination movie, of course, where not even this teddy bear's eyes are safe when it comes to the procedure. The doctor leaves Olivia briefly to go get a missing file, which I don't think a real doctor would do in this situation. And in his absence, we get an accident that begins with Death's second favorite weapon, water, which you can always count on to mess with literally anything electronic. Olivia's head is so restrained that she can't reach the machine's controller, and instead knocks it to the ground where it activates the frickin' laser beam. Olivia's right eye is given the Alderaan treatment, but she manages to save her left one by sacrificing her hand. When Sam and Molly arrive to help her out, she ends up tripping over that Teddy's loose eyeball and tumbling through the high-story window. She dies after hitting a car windshield, which somehow manages to pop her own eye out in an imitation of the bear's. Agent Block, who's still kinda lurking around this movie, asks Sam and Molly to clue him in about what's going on, but they're unable to explain, really, anything, so I guess we can just put Block's side plot back on the back burner. In the meantime, Sam and Molly have the requisite scene where they realize the whole death works in a certain order thing, and Sam realizes that Nathan would be the next one to go. Nathan is currently having another dispute with that Roy dude over the guy's total disrespect towards him. Roy's pissed about getting his hours cut, and while he yells at Nathan, things start to get dangerous. Nathan tries to push Roy out of the way, but instead accidentally pushes him right into the danger zone, and angry boy Roy falls to his death, ending up with a hook through his chin. And then his head too. Nice. Peter goes to Dennis and tells him what they all learned from Bloodworth, and he comes pretty damn close to turning this whole thing into a Belko experiment.
It's kill or be killed.
But instead of killing or being killed, Dennis just calls Agent Block and tells him about Peter's temper tantrum. Peter only grows more unstable after he goes to Roy's accident scene and accuses Nathan of killing the union rep to save his own life.
So if the theory works, then you traded spots.
This must be the case, because Death's already moving on to Dennis, who arrives just in time to get a flying wrench to the dome, in what at first seems like the least graphic kill since the original movie, until, yep, there's the money shot. Gotta love that gore. Despite Death looming close to him, Sam still goes to work at the restaurant, which of course kind of has a 180 in the name. Spooky! There are a lot of potential occupational hazards every which way Sam looks, but you know how Death works by now. These kills are never gonna be quick and obvious. Instead, Death lets Sam and Molly settle into a nice romantic dinner for two that blows through the restaurant's entire candle budget. They celebrate his Parisian apprenticeship, but get interrupted by Peter knocking at the door, looking real dark and scary, like he's ready to straight murder them. Because that's exactly what he's here to do, right after a bit of liquid courage. See, he couldn't bring himself to kill anyone random on the street, no pedestrians on a corner or vagrants in in an alley, but he still wants to trade someone's life for his own. And who better than Molly, who he doesn't think deserves to have lived over Candice. His attempt on her life is thwarted by Sam with a table, and Peter's gunshots are heard by Agent Block down the block, who calls them in and heads towards the restaurant. Molly hides in the kitchen while Peter knocks Sam out cold, then turns on all the gas lines he can find to prime this place for a 3D explosion. Block shows up and tries to help Molly out, but he's shot from behind by Peter and succumbs quickly to the multiple bullets in his back. Cuba Gooding Jr. OJ better find himself a new head lawyer, stat. Having attacked and killed the Block, Peter has removed himself from death's list, but since he doesn't want to spend his new life behind bars, he goes to get rid of the only eyewitness to his crime. Somehow, Sam flies out of nowhere to slow Peter down, and then they get into an all-out kitchen fight! After a bit of their scullery scuffling, Molly gets in on the action too, and when Peter goes to kill her, he's stopped by Sam with a skewer through the back, kind of evoking his impalement from the rebar pipes in the premonition. Anyone want some rotisserie, Fisher? Nah, bring the carver! After a very weird physical beat that makes me laugh every time, Sam and Molly embrace, happy that they've beaten death and are no longer on its list. 2 weeks later, they're boarding a plane, finally ready to move to Paris so Sam can start that apprenticeship. But wait a minute, Paris? And what's that airline's name? Voli? Oh no! Yeah, dude, turns out Sam and Molly are on Flight 180. And I'm kind of confused about that shot we just saw, because originally I assumed it was unused footage from the first movie. But while watching the behind the scenes stuff, I saw them say this.
They brought back some of the actors from the original series, they've lit it in the same way. I mean, they're recreating that whole plane sequence, but just extending it.
I can't tell if that's a joke or what, because I don't think all these actors would look exactly the same like this 11 years later. Plus, they have the same extras sitting in the same seats, and in the foreground of this shot with Sam and Molly, I do not think that's Amanda Detmer or Devon Sawa. So I'm gonna have to call bullshit on this one, Chief. Anyway, with Alex Browning and his classmates getting removed, you know this plane's about to take off. Which, yes, means that Final Destination 5 is a surprise prequel. A pretty awesome twist that I sadly had spoiled long before I ever saw this movie. Although, first time through, Chelsea caught it as soon as Isaac found that spa coupon. Spoopon? The ending, with the main characters failing to escape death, is a frequent motif in this series. But before, it was always played for laughs. This time through, it feels horrific as Sam and Molly realize that they're screwed after takeoff.
A kid had a panic attack and wanted off the plane. Said he had some kind of vision.
No. You actually feel sorry for Sam and Molly here, which may be more uncomfortable than laughing as shitty empty characters die, but I kinda like having that discomfort. That's emotion, man. Flight 180 breaks apart just as we saw in the original film, and since I already counted the 187 deaths in the kill count for that movie, I'm not gonna double count them here. They've already been accounted for in this kill count series, you know? All that's changed is we now know 2 more of their names. Molly, who gets sucked out of the plane and cut in half by the wing, and Sam, who stays inside the cabin long enough to die from a fire just like Alex Browning did in the OG Premonition. As the plane rains down fiery remnants, Nathan is at a bar honoring the man he accidentally killed. Oh, and looks like he frequented a certain racetrack there, huh? Another co-worker tells Nathan that Roy's autopsy revealed he was about to die from an enlarged blood vessel.
They said he'd be dead any day now.
Which apparently means that Roy's life wasn't up for trade, explaining why Nathan is killed by the bar collapsing under the plane wreckage, a kill that sends his severed arm flying towards the camera. Whoa. And no, I won't count other people in the bar because we don't see any of them definitively die. Eat it, pedants. How many people did death take down now that it's had more practice in 3D? Let's find out and get to the numbers. And I'm gonna be very careful and not mess with anything so that I don't get killed. All right? Think I'm good. Ah! Oh God! Oh, where's that even coming from? Oh God! 94 new people died in Final Destination 5, and aside from the 86 bridge victims, the dead included 6 men and only 2 women, an inequality washed out by that sea of gray. With a runtime of 92 minutes, that left us with a kill on average just under every minute. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Candice. Hands and every other body part down. Of course it deserves the gold medal. Where else are you gonna see shit like this? Damn, I love it. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Agent Block, pretty obviously. A gun kill? Do you even remember who you are, Final Destination? And the premonition for coolest kill seen only in a vision may be a surprise winner, because I'm gonna give it to Dennis. I think his skin being melted by hot tar or asphalt or whatever has the best looking effects. Much better than Peter and his sloth eye there, and also better than Sam, who gets a little Scorpion Kingy falling towards the camera. And that's it. Final Destination 5 came out in 2011 and is the latest film in the franchise to date. The most recent news about the series is that it's getting a reboot by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, who took over writing the Saw movies from Lee Winnell and did parts 4, 5, 6, and my favorite, 3D. Hasn't been any news since January though, so who knows? Next week kicks off Reanimator, one of my favorites. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. Big thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video so I could release the explicit version for free. Also big thanks to patrons who support me like Gabe Gratchik, Mark Dehan, Bryson Whittington, James May, Devin Crowell, and Nathan Felsman. We're done with another franchise. What'd you think? I think these were some of my most in-depth episodes yet. Thanks everyone, be good people.